without giving too much away, because I know you can't, tell me what fans will feel after just watching this season, mid-season finale.
Listen, there's some big things that are happening going into the back half of the season. There's some tension that develops within the family amongst between, I'm just talking about in present day. So there's Rebecca, there's Kevin, Kate, Randall. Something happens in the present day that causes people to sort of fall away from one another a little bit.
Okay.
Really all I can say.
What was your reaction when you read the mid-season finale?
I was like, they're gonna be upset.
Okay. The fans are going to be
The
upset.
fans are gonna be upset, but in a way that, like, because we're gonna leave them for like 6 or 7 weeks before they get a chance to see what
Right.
happens next.
Yeah.
But when we come back, they're gonna go on a roller coaster ride.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Randall's had some pretty big life changes this season, I feel like, with the new job, relocation, all that.
Yep.
So on all of those different angles, what would you say, with the adoption of the new jobs, how is that relatable to you in a real life?
Relatable to me in real life? That's an interesting question. Let's see. So he's lived in Jersey for a long time with his wife. He's raised his children there, and so he's moving his family from Jersey to Philadelphia. So, I'm from St. Louis. Big up to the Loop. Lived here for 18 years, and then I uprooted myself to go to Stanford, and then left Stanford to go to New York City, where I lived for 8 years, and then now I live in Los Angeles for what will now be 14 years this December, which is kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Because it's almost the same amount of time that I've lived in St. Louis,
Yeah.
but it's not
Yeah.
always for the Loop. That was big. Taking on a new career opportunity, I think later on in life was an interesting sort of thing. I just recently became a producer and started my own production company. So I would say that is, but there's something daunting about trying something new later on in life. It's exhilarating, and there's a little bit of fear involved as well.
What's your favorite change to your character, and why?
Favorite change to Randall? Ooh. Well, I will say this. The turmoil that he and Beth went through during season 3, I'm happy to see them operating as more of a cohesive unit. I got stressed out when things weren't working out between Beth and Randall. My real life wife got stressed out. I know the fans were, so I'm happy to see that we're in a united place.
What do fans have to look forward next season?
Oh, dude, there's a lot. What I can say is this. Dan Fogelman, the creator of our show, has an end point in mind.
Okay.
Like, there are things that we have actually already shot for our series finale, right? That we're banking so that when it comes time to, like, show them, it'll be, fun. But there's a purposefulness to what we're doing. A lot of shows are content to be on, and this is great, no shade, like, just as long as they can go. I think we want to be on for a long time, but also we don't want to wear out our welcome. And so hopefully when we go, folks will be like, oh man, they should have stuck around. Like a good house guest.
Yes.
They leave before you get tired.
Okay, so your other projects you got. Frozen 2, Waves, the hit Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, that you're going to be appearing in. But you also have Angry Birds 2, Frozen. They're animated features. So how does that compare to actually being in front of the camera?
Very different. You're in a sound booth, and you're recording it almost by yourself.
The whole
all the
time?
Yeah. Very rarely will you have another cast member to play off of.
Really?
So you're reading with either the writer or the director of the movie, right? In the case of Frozen 2, it's with the writer and the director, who actually happen to be really good actors. And so you record with them, and then you get a chance to see how it all fits together when they come up with the final thing. It's crazy. It's awesome.
Okay, so you started your own production company, Indian Meadows. What is your first project, or if you can talk about it?
Yeah, well, we've sold a few things right now, but the thing that's furthest along in development is a show called Washington Black, and it's based off of a New York Times bestseller, and it's a slave narrative that starts off on a plantation in Barbados, and it doesn't end up where you think, which is what I love about it. This young boy winds up escaping from his plantation and goes to Virginia, and then to London, and then to Nova Scotia, and then to the Arctic, winds up back in Europe, and then ultimately ends up in Morocco. So it's an adventure story that starts off as a classic slave narrative.
Are we talking a series, a movie?
It's a limited series, so it'll probably wind up being somewhere between 8 to 10 episodes.
Nice.
And it'll be on Hulu.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
Okay, so you have we have a Facebook fan page with almost 1,000 people in it. So they have some questions too.
Hit me, Facebook.
All right. What is one characteristic Randall has in the show that you would want in your real life?
A lot of Randall is me, but one thing that Randall can do infinitely better than yours truly is cook. You can cook, your dad can cook. Sterl can get away with some things, but it's mostly for sustenance. Randall can burn. I wish I could burn.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What do you miss about St. Louis?
I miss Midwestern hospitality. I appreciate people looking you in the eye. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine saw a billboard when he came in that said, please and thank you. And I always say, please and thank you. And it's things that you think everybody does.
Yeah.
And everybody doesn't all the time. I miss my family. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was the right answer.
Nephew.
We miss you too.
But yeah, those are big. I do not miss summer.
Yeah.
Woo!
Very humid. Allergies.
Incredibly
Lots
humid.
of pollen.
No, dude, it got to the point where Mom said I didn't have to cut the grass anymore because I would just have snot running down the front of my face. So thanks, Mom. I appreciate it.
What's your favorite St. Louis spot?
Like going to the Loop. Love going to the Landing. Like sometimes just randomly, I love running down the Landing and going underneath the arch when it's late and like nobody else is around and you have it all to yourself.
Yeah.
That feels really, really cool. But yeah, the Loop and the Landing are two places I love to kick it. And then just random things. Like I'll go back and visit high school. I'll go back and visit, Spady, just to see what it looks like sometimes. So just taking trips through nostalgia.
Yeah. Besides family,
Yeah.
what's your favorite thing to do when you're not working?
Favorite thing to do when I'm not working. I exercise. I do find that I get a chance to sort of meld mind, body, and soul together when I keep fit. So that's a big one. I love going to the movies. I love watching TV. Like I'm a big fan. Like before, I think this was just the natural progression was getting into it because I just love watching stuff all the time. So yeah. Also, I love playing pool and ping pong.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, the holidays are around the corner. What family tradition means the most to you?
You know what's interesting? I've bounced around so much. I don't know if I've established too many traditions. So my traditions are like the traditions from home. I love eating your dad's dressing at Thanksgiving.
Me too.
It is delicious. I'm thankful that Aunt Vera stopped trying to make chitlins because that's no bueno for nobody.
No.
That's chitterlings if you don't know what I'm saying. But like honestly, like eating
Aunt Billy's pecan pie.
Aunt Billy's pecan pie. Mom making the sweet potato pies.
Yeah.
Yeah, those I miss the food.
So the food, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so to end things, what one bit of advice would you give young people, old people, people who look up to you as a role model? What is one thing you would say to them? Self-confidence
is one thing that nobody else can give to you. You gotta believe it for yourself. And even when nobody's paying attention to you and nobody's shining the light on you, you have to know as an individual that you are of value and what you bring to the world is beautiful and unique. And don't let anybody take it away from you.
I need a tissue.
You stop. You stop. He weighs more than me now. This is crazy.
Is there anything else you want to say about your production company, Indian Meadows?
I'm just trying to come up with things that focus on intelligent diversity. I want people of color, marginalized voices in the forefront, not just the best friend and not just, ancillary characters, but these stories about people that don't always have stories told about them. I feel like Hollywood is beginning to embrace multicultural storytelling and recognize that it's not just of value monetarily, right? Because people are going to see it. But there's something about allowing folks to see themselves on screen that validates their existence. Because if you go so long without seeing yourself, you can have the feeling that you might not exist or that your story's not important. And so if anybody feels as if their story's not important, those are the stories that I want to help tell.